What's going on, YouTube? It's your girl Monique Nicole, and I am back with another video. Before we get started, honey, if you are new to my channel, please make sure you are subscribed. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. And while you are at it, go ahead and click the thumbs up button to like this video. It is an easy and free way to help support my channel, honey, because we are trying to do what? Grow. Say it with me. Grow. All right, y'all. I am here today. You can already tell by the background who I got on my screen. You can already tell who I got on my screen. What we are doing today. If you don't know, we are here to discuss Netflix's recent hit series that has the internet buzzing, The Hunting Wives, aka The Hunching Wives. Because, honey, these ladies was hunching. There was a lot of hunching that took place during this series, y'all. So this is the thing, y'all. Sometimes I be a little late to the party, okay? So I was just minding my business like I always do, and I just saw social media all these different posts about hunting wives, hunting wives. I'm like, what is this? What is this? So the more and more I saw, the more and more I was intrigued. So one day, just a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch at least 2 episodes. Let's see. This seems to be the new hot trending show that everybody's talking about. All different people from all walks of life. I'm like, let me just see, because this doesn't happen often, right? Because we all kind of have different things that we like to consume as far as content we like to watch. So I'm like, okay, everybody's into this. Let me take a look. Well, honey, I sat down and I can definitely tell you after episode 1, I was very intrigued. I think after episode 1, very intrigued, especially once I realized that there was a murder mystery involved in this series. I love a murder mystery. I love a who did it. I love a we got to get to the bottom of this, or where it's like us as the audience, we're like, who the hell killed? I love it. I feel like Hunting Wives had a little bit of everything. It had comedy, it had romance, it had suspense, it had a murder, it had sex. It even had a little bit of politics. Definitely some things that were very realistic. So y'all, let's get into it. I went to Google Schmoogle because I was like, how do I start this video? Now, how do I sum up this show? That's really what it was. I was like, how do I sum up the series? Now it's an eight episode series, very digestible, very easy to just follow. I think I watched it in 2 days, you guys. It was pretty dope. It was pretty freaking dope. Okay, where's Google? Don't film me right now. I had it pulled up, chat. Okay. All right, y'all. This is what Google says. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all what the plot and all that is, and then we're gonna go in depth. We are going to go in depth, y'all. Okay. Y'all might be surprised by some of my commentary, because the beautiful thing about this is, like, when I watched it within 2 days, I had certain knee-jerk reaction to certain things, right? Rightfully so. And then a couple days later, I had to really sit and process some of what I consumed within 2 days. And that's the thing about binge watching that I don't like. You don't really get a chance to really process everything that you just watched and consumed. When you're watching a show week to week, you get a week to even rewatch the episode and really take a moment to reflect and really just take a moment to process. Oh my gosh, y'all, my contact lens is bothering me. You get a moment to really process everything. But when you binge watch it, you don't really get a moment to process. You're just boom, 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 boom. So I say that I'm going to get back to that because I'm going to have a really opposing opinion than most of the viewing audience on a specific character. I cannot wait to tell you guys my thought on a specific character that everybody hated. Okay, so according to Google and AI, The Hunting Wives follows Sophie O'Neill as she relocates with her family from Boston to a small East Texas town and becomes entangled. Okay, entanglement. Shout out to Jada Pinkett Smith. Entangled in the dangerous world of a socialite named Margo Banks and her group of affluent, secretive housewives known as the Hunting Wives. Sophie is drawn into their world of parties, affairs, and ultimately high stake crimes. Ooh, when a teenage girl is murdered, can I say viciously? Viciously murdered, and Sophie becomes a suspect. Y'all, when I started watching this show, I did not know it was gonna go where it went. You know what I'm saying? We first get introduced to Sophie. Now, y'all, I'm gonna be very real, and I don't think a lot of y'all are gonna agree with me. Sophie was the most annoying character on this show. When I tell you I got sick and tired of motherfucking Sophie. I got sick and tired of Sophie just always just anxiety. I need a Xanax. Okay. I just got sick of Sophie being this grown ass woman who is a wife and a mother, who can't think for herself, who has this intense anxiety, intense social anxiety. She's easily influenced by Margo. Now, don't get me wrong, Margo is a very captivating woman. Okay. Margo Banks, aside from her terrible wig, which oof, bad wig. I get it. Okay. I get it. Margo Banks is very captivating. Okay. Margo had them girls and the boys on lock. Like, I don't Margo must have kryptonite in her coochie, because the way she was able to just captivate Sophie in 3 weeks, you guys. So when I was like, I think it was the finale episode, right? When Sophie confronts Margo at the party. When Miss Nancy Drew, Sophie puts all the pieces to the puzzle together. When they said when I can't remember if it was that. No, it was when the husband, it was when Graham. Oh, Graham looks so goofy. When Graham was like, what the freak? He was like, 3 weeks ago, you were having a damn anxiety attack going to an NRA function. Now you owned a pow pow and you brought the pow pow in our house. Mind you guys, I am going to go all over the place. So if you're expecting like this is what happened and then this and then this is not going to be that type of review. I do have some notes, but I really am going all over the place because I'm assuming if you're watching my review, then you watch the series. Okay. And I'm a little ADD for those who are new to me. So let me focus, Monique. Focus. Sophie was the most annoying character to me. I got sick of her just I got sick of that. I got sick of that shit, bitch. Get a backbone. You're a grown ass woman, bitch. Stand up. Stand up. That got on my nerves. The way she just easily was influenced by Margo and trying to fit in at her big ass like, I'm all about like going along to get along. I'm all about taking one for the team. I'm all about even trying different things that aren't usually my forte. I'm about all of that, but there's still a level of just weakness and immaturity that I felt like Sophie had. I just felt like, Sophie, are you a teenager or are you a grown ass woman? Are we 16 or are you in your 30s or 40s? Like, I need you to act your fucking age. And like, I gave her a pass a little bit because I get it. Margo is very captivating. We do see in various flashbacks that Sophie was once, I can't even say lesbian. I guess once she almost explored with her sexuality and she had a little awkward moment with her roommate, and then she met Graham, and so we see that from her past. Sophie was maybe bi-curious or was maybe interested in women, but she kind of just brushed it off. And I really do think a lot of women That is something we don't speak about. And shout out to Jessie Woo, because Jessie Woo really kind of brought this to my attention. I was feeling it when I was watching it, but she was the only content creator that really put words into what I was thinking. Jessie Woo basically was like, in like real life, we often talk about men who are down low, men who once had a sexual experience with another man and just kind of put it on the back burner, moved on with life, got married, had kids, whoop de doo. We don't talk about women who go through that same thing. We don't talk about the women who either once were gay or once that sounds so crazy to say once were gay. You guys know there's a double standard with women, right? A woman could be a lesbian for 5 years and get it out of her system for some, not all, some can explore women for 3 to 5 years, do all that, have girlfriends, lick the cootie cat, all of that, be in love, all of that. And then 5 years later, get married to a man, have kids, and that was her past. For the first time, this really highlighted it for me in the sense of the same way we always pinpoint men who are quote unquote DL or men who once had a man on man experience, is like we don't really highlight the women who could also be living a double life, the women who are secretly, really lesbians and really would rather be with a woman, but maybe they can't due to life circumstances, religion, their household, their family, how they would be judged, if they would ruin their all different case scenarios. So this show kind of highlighted it to me. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I feel like I feel like Margo is really bisexual, right? Like I really do think she likes women and she likes men. Like I also feel like she's gonna go with whatever benefits her. I really think Margo is bisexual. Um, I think Callie is a freaking like lesbian. I think let me pull up Callie. I feel like Callie is a lesbian. Like there is no if ands buts. And maybe she's just in love and obsessed with Margo. It could be that. I'm willing to give a little grace that it could be that. But no, I really think Callie is a freaking full on lesbian, you guys. And Sophie, I go back and forth because I really do think she loves her husband and I think she wants to be with him. But with Sophie, it's hard for me. Sorry, y'all. This is Callie. Ooh, Callie was obsessed with Margo. Sophie, I go back and forth with Sophie because on one hand, I'm like, is she really a lesbian? Or is she bisexual? It's so hard for me because I don't feel like Sophie would just leave her family for Margo. I feel like she would jeopardize things in her household for Margo, but I don't feel like she would just leave. Callie? Oh, bitch. Callie would drop everything. Callie would blow up her whole life and spot and situation to be with Margo. And that's the difference between, to me, Sophie and Callie. But again, I'm kind of going all over the place. I need to like reel it in. I think I'm just so excited about this show. I'm also having a little ADD moment, so please forgive me. So I want to, okay, guys, I am going to challenge you. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, I have to bring this up, I have to bring up Graham and Sophie. Now, like many of you, when I was watching the series, I could not stand Graham. I thought he was annoying. I thought he was controlling. I thought he was immature. Like, especially when they were at Jed and Margot's house and like Graham got drunk and he was just saying real stupid, idiotic, insensitive things about Sophie. And Graham definitely got on my nerves. And I'm not gonna like change that. That's not changing. Like, I do think he's obnoxious. I do think he kind of is controlling. I do think he got on my nerves throughout the series. However, a few days after I watched the series, I had a different take on Graham. And I had to really step back and really think of it from a different standpoint, from a different POV. I understand that Sophie is the main character. So secretly, like, we're supposed to, as the audience, we're secretly supposed to root for her. But honestly, no. I think Sophie is a freaking idiot. I think Sophie is a freaking moron. And I had to really, it took a few days because, like I said, I was on the I hate Graham train as well. But I really had to take a step back, right? So when shit hit the fan, with Abby's death and then the police arresting Sophie, I was like, okay, so when all that happened, right? And when Sophie gets out of jail, bailed out, whatever, like she spent like a night in jail, whatever. When she gets back to the house and she's talking to Graham and she's just like telling him all this stuff, Graham is looking at her like, nah, bitch, what? Like, I just feel like in that moment, I understood from Graham's point of view. It's like, bitch, we've been here for 2.5 weeks. In 2.5 weeks, you're telling me that you bought a gun. You are the same bitch that had a fucking panic attack 2 weeks prior when we were going to an NRA event. And you're telling me that your grown ass was peer pressured to purchase a gun. Purchase it. You purchased the gun, bitch. You fucking purchased it. And then to add insult to injury, you brought the gun inside of our home where we have our child, and you didn't even have it in a lockbox. So listen, guys, when I was watching the show, it did not click. For some reason, I don't know why, because he even mentioned it when he was going off on her in the kitchen. He mentioned it. One of the reasons why I understand more so from Graham's perspective and why he was so angry and even why he was like, get the fuck out the house. We all know that Sophie had a prior situation where she accidentally murdered someone because she was drinking and driving irresponsibly and she ran over someone and killed them. And because they were white and because they had connections and because they hired a nice, fancy, expensive attorney, she was able to walk away scot-free. That does not really happen. And I actually don't find it to be realistic. I really do think what would have been more realistic is if the person was injured, right? Like if she permanently paralyzed them or they broke their leg and whatever, like make it dramatic. I feel like, okay, if she was drinking and driving, she ran over someone and paralyzed them, that is more believable. You drinking and driving and murdering someone, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. In the United States of America, even if you're white, even if you have white privilege, even if you're a person of affluence, you are going to fucking jail. Like, I don't like America is very, they don't play about drinking and driving, especially if it results in death. I don't care if you're white, I don't care how much money you have. Now, of course, if you are, of a certain caliber, if you're a politician, if maybe you'd have more pull, but she was not a politician's daughter. She wasn't this, they're not that damn rich. So I felt that was very, very, very unrealistic. I feel like if they wanted to have her like be irresponsible and accidentally kill someone, they could have done a different thing. I just think if I'm thinking from a realistic person, realistic mindset, I didn't like that in the story. That felt very unrealistic to me. So with Graham and why I give grace. With that incident, right, of the drunk driving incident, he said it in the line in the show, and I don't know why it didn't click to me. He said, "We had an entire CPS case file against us. Like, CPS had to come to our home. There was an entire investigation if we could even be fit and take care of our child." So I feel like when I let a couple days go by after watching the show, And that really crossed my mind and really hit me in a different type of way than it did when I was watching it. I actually am Team Graham. That doesn't mean Graham is perfect. That doesn't mean Graham doesn't have shit he needs to work on, because he does. But I feel like everybody tried to say, oh, Graham's the villain. No, Sophie is the fucking villain. You stupid bitch. You were drinking and driving and you murdered someone. And by the skin of your teeth, you got off. In that very situation, you put our family in jeopardy. We have a whole fucking CPS investigation placed on us to even see if we were going to be fit parents to raise our child. We could lose our child. You brought a gun into this house and it was not properly stored. Do you guys not understand the severity of what could have happened? They could have quite literally, if it played out differently, yes, CPS could have came back into that house. It could have been another investigation, and they could have taken their fucking kid away from them. So I completely, like, when Graham, because when I was first watching it, I was like, Graham, who the fuck are you? Fuck you, motherfucker. Ain't supposed to be, till death do us part, through thick and thin, hard times, good times, bad times, sad times. You know what I'm saying? Whether times are good or bad, happy and sad. I was like, you ain't shit. And then a couple days later, I had to really sit with it. And I said, you know what, Graham? You got on my nerves, but you're not the villain. Sophie is the villain. Your raggedy wife is the villain. And so I understood later, a couple days later, I was like, you know what? I understood why he kicked her out the house. Because, bitch, you're not about to have CPS come and take my child away from me because you want to be stupid, bitch. Nah, you can get the fuck out of this house. That way, if CPS comes, I can say, you don't live here. You don't live here. She's not a threat to our child. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like justice for Graham. He got on my nerves. And then let's keep it a fucking buck. Let's keep it a buck, y'all. This raggedy bitch Sophie would just keep disappearing from Graham. Graham supposed to pick her up. Graham checking in on her. You go just ghost. Just ghost. Your husband is hitting you up, blowing up your phone, calling you, don't know what to tell your son. They freaking out, bitch. You're in this new fucking town. We don't know nobody. My thing is, you're stupid. You're stupid. Once you realize that, like, okay, hey, I'm going to stay later, you should have just texted him. Like, it would have been okay. Like, that, like, we have to remember Margo is Graham's boss's wife. Again, Margo's husband, Jed, is Graham's boss. So it would have been nothing if Sophie just texted, hey, babe, I'm actually going to stay longer with Margo. She wants to hang out with me more. Don't worry. She'll take me back. Like, it would have been nothing. You're telling me you're that fucking dumb and ditzy and that in love and that smitten by Margo that you don't have a fucking brain. Okay, you guys left Margo's house that one of those girls' nights. Y'all left the Margo's house to go to the Coyote place. You had ample time to text Graham and say, hey, babe, me and the girls are going to go to Coyote. Da-da-da. Don't worry, I'm not going to drink. Da-da-da-da. I'm just trying to, take one for the team and fit in with these girls. Don't worry about it takes nothing. So it's like, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. After I took a couple days for me to process this shit, justice for Graham, even though he's doofy and annoying and goofy. No, Sophie was the dumbest bitch on the show. You know what I'm saying? So let me know if I've conveyed you guys to, not think of Graham as harshly as we all did when we were watching the series. Let me know if I made any valid points that you agree with. Let's see. Let's go on. I think I talked enough about Margo and Sophie. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I talked about Sophie and Graham. I don't really want to talk too much about Margo and Callie. My only thing is, damn, again, Margo must have had kryptonite in her Hello Kitty, because Callie, I feel like Callie was a little smarter. And the fact that she couldn't see how manipulative, right? That Margo was like very manipulative. Like she only came back to Cali, being all soft and loving when it suited her. It was very manipulative. Margo was definitely the puppet master. And I would never want anybody to have that type of power over me. Speaking of Callie, let's talk about Callie and her gay ass husband. Listen, Linda. I think Callie and her sheriff husband, whatever, I think they are a good example of a lavender marriage. Now, I don't think they had the talk or the agreement. I almost feel like their agreement is very like subtle. It's like it doesn't need to be said. They kind of know, like they know what's up. Do y'all remember that scene when Callie went to? Why am I whispering like I'm talking? Like, do y'all remember that scene when Callie went to her husband's job, the police station, and she walks into his office unannounced? Hmm. And that other officer was like leaned over talking to the husband. And as soon as Callie walked in, he's like, "Oh, hi, sorry." Bitch, I knew then. Bitch, I knew. And that scene was before the whole pegging scene. So I knew then. I peeped game. I peeped game then that hubby was gay. And I almost said Margo. Callie was well aware. She was well aware. So again, I don't know if they've had like a conversation. It just seems like they have an agreement and like they don't really have to talk about it, I guess, in detail. But baby, it's definitely giving lavender marriage. And then the pegging incident. I that scene was a lot for me. I could really go my whole life without seeing that scene ever again. Um, I'm the wrong person to ask to talk about it because I don't when it comes to the backdoor stuff, I'm not for that. I just and then you're pegging your husband like, oh, and then you okay. That's not for me. I ain't trying to judge. Y'all do what y'all do. What works for you in your household works for you in your household. But as for me and mine, I rebuke that because no. And yeah, and I'm trying to understand you guys. What's the benefit in Callie staying with hubby? Is he a sheriff or whatever? Like, I don't. Is it? Have they just been together so long? They just like each other. She's comfortable. He got money. What? I don't get it. We understand why Margo got with Jed. I mean, let, let's talk about Margo. Especially the flashbacks to Margo being a kid. Margo just had a effed up childhood. And she was just one of those people who was just like kind of doomed in life. Like, she really, if she wanted to make a change and be a better person, she could have. But I just don't think everyone is meant to be a good person. I feel like there are just some people who are just comfortable being conniving, being scheming, being manipulative, or even being evil. I feel like Margo fully has a conscience. Like she's very aware, right? She's very aware, y'all, of what she does. She's very manipulative and she's damn good. She's damn good at it too. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I like her and Jed's situation because they really have an agreement. And it is a mutually beneficial agreement and arrangement. You know what I'm saying? Like she can fuck bitches, he can fuck bitches. They can fuck bitches together. Now, the part about her not getting no peen, I don't know about that part. But listen, it's a mutually beneficial arrangement. She gets to have coochie, he gets to have coochie. They have a fun life together. They drink and get drunk and do this and do that. And they got their secrets and they cool. And they're both kind of corrupt and they're both kind of calculating. And yo, can we talk about the flashback when we finally saw how Margo bagged Jed? This is why they be saying, don't bring no other bitch in your bedroom, ladies. Don't do it. If you want to do a threesome, bitch, you better do it when you on vacation in damn Colombia, Fiji, whoever, wherever. Don't do it with no bitch that lives damn 30 minutes from your house. Cause guess what's gonna happen? Your man gonna get a taste of that Hello Kitty, and he might like that Hello Kitty a little bit more. And he gonna just drive a little 30 piece of, don't let it be 30 minutes from the house. Don't even let it be 45 from the house. He gonna drive 45 minutes to get that coochie. Margo was the side piece. Not even the side piece. Margo was an escort. Was she an escort? Can we call her an escort? Jed was married to that other white lady where they had the twins. We didn't even get to Brad yet, child. Bitch. Jed was married to the other white fish. Okay. That's who he had the twin boys with. One night, I guess the wife was with the shits too a little bit. You know what I'm saying? She got Margo basically as a damn escort and brought Margo into that bedroom, baby. And guess what? When the wife went up to go to the bathroom, Margo and Jed was pillow talking. Bitch, lo and behold, Margo took Jed from his wife. And that nigga moved Margo ass in. Okay. Yo. Hey, hey. Baby. I bet that wife regrets that shit to this day. To this day. Bitch, you brought another bitch in your bedroom and that same bitch took your husband. Bitch. Now she living the effing life of luxury. Bitch. That's why that ex-wife was drinking so much. Every scene we saw her, she was baby, I'd be drinking too. If I was you, I would be drinking too. But Margo, you better watch out, baby, because how you get them is how you lose them, honey. And the way the finale went, baby, Jed smacked the shit out of y'all. I don't laugh at domestic violence, but I'm gonna be honest. Margo deserved that slap. Margo deserved that motherfucking slap because bitch, you had no business, you fucking pedophile, messing with that little boy, that 18-year-old boy. Whatever. I don't want to hear nobody. Oh, he's 18. He's 18. Bitch, it's still predatory behavior. That is a child. Margo is a grown ass woman. I hate when people try to apologize and make excuses for just terrible behavior. Y'all love making excuses for pedophiles and predatory behavior. It's quite disgusting. Okay. So and now not to mention you killed Abby. Innocent ass Abby. So bitch, I don't give a fuck if Jed smack your ass. He should have smacked you twice, if you ask me. And you got pregnant by an 18-year-old child? Oh yeah, I would have double smacked her ass. Pow pow. I don't promote domestic violence. Lord knows I don't. Lord knows I do not. But I'm not gonna lie. I think Margo getting impregnated by the 18-year-old boy and killing the damn 17-year-old child, I think she deserved a little smack smack, a little smack smack. And now since I'm going in on Margo's ass, let me continue to go in on her ass as far as being a predator. So let's talk about, oh gosh, this must have been a little BTS. This must have been a little BTS theme. Let's get into Brad and Abby. Oh God, let me pull up Abby, child. Oh, Margo, you evil bitch. Am I the only one who really felt sad? Like I felt really bad with that Abby situation. I thought that was pretty brutal. You know what I'm saying? That was very brutal. The way Margo killed her was very brutal. I don't think she deserved it. Abby was a 17-year-old child who was obsessed with her boyfriend, and was jealous that he was secretly in love with someone else and it just happened to be Margo. You know what I'm saying? Um I felt really bad for Abby. I could tell she just obviously had, tough childhood, tough, home life, raised by a single mom, very insecure girl, nice girl, but very insecure, way in over her head. She was having sex pressured by Brad. I felt for Abby. You know what I'm saying? All Brad wanted was that coochie. And this is why, when you do things like that to young children, Margot, a lot of them do become, overly sexualized and all of that. Like, man, I tell you, I was pissed. I didn't like it. I did not like it. I ain't like it, y'all. I ain't like it. Um, where else I want to go with this? Okay, let's get into the whole like killing of Abby and just like how Sophie got involved. Like that. Let's get into the big reveal. Okay, so one night Sophie is over at Margot's house. I think the girls were there earlier, and then she kicked the girls out, and then told Sophie to stay. Sophie stayed. They was having fun. Cool, cool, cool. And then a few hours later, um hoe ass Margo invited Brad and the little black boy, Jamie, is it? He's cute, but again, I'm not a fan of predatory type of behavior. It doesn't matter if it's coming from a man or a woman. I don't like it. So no, I did not like Margo inviting two teenage boys over. I just didn't like the whole thing. I didn't like Jamie, the black boy, flirting with Sophie. It all made me feel very, very uncomfortable. I did not like it. Not for one bit. So they over at Margot's house, child, having a damn blast. You hear me? Just having a mother freaking blast. And they do a little druggy drug. And one thing lead to another. They kissing, they doing drugs, they doing all this stuff. So Sophie asked, because Sophie been sober for a damn however long, child, year. So Sophie passed out. Okay, so what had happened was, yeah, and there's a couple little holes in the story that I didn't really, the writers, they could have done a little better at connecting some of the dots. There was some high school party or whatever, right? And Abby go over there and she's expecting Brad to be there, but Brad not there, and Brad not picking up the phone and all that. So she's like, I know where Brad is. I know where he is. So I guess we as the audience are to assume that Abby must have known where Margot lived, been over there before, seen it, whatever. So this bitch gonna go run up in the woods. She found Margot's house. I'm assuming she went to go confront Margot, threaten Margot. Either, again, too much is left up for the audience to assume, and I don't like situations like that. Um, if it's an obvious assumption, I don't mind, using my brain. I'm an intelligent person. I don't mind doing a little bit of assuming, but I don't like it when shows makes the audience have to do too much assuming. So again, we are to assume, Abby was emotional, all that. She went over to Margot's house. We are to assume that Abby threatened Margot and like, I know you slept with Brad, and I know he got you pregnant, and and I'm gonna go tell, which was gonna, if she did tell, it was gonna fuck up Jed's campaign, Jed's reputation. It would have burned a lot of shit to the ground. It would have. I'm not gonna lie. It would have. Abby did pose a threat to Margot. I do agree with that. I just still don't believe that murdering this 17-year-old child would have, I still don't think it was justifiable in this case. I think there was other ways. I think there was other ways for Margot to threaten Abby. She could have threatened her mom. She could have done, or she could have bribed them. There's so many different things that I feel like Margo, as Margo is, as smart and conniving as Margo is, I feel like there's so many other things that Margo could have done to convince Abby to not go to the public with this scandalous information. I do not feel like Margo had to slaughter that girl and kill her just viciously. Like, I mean, Margo killed her like she was a piece of fucking meat. It was really, really disgusting, and it was very, very disturbing, and I did not like it at all, if I'm being honest. Um, I didn't like it, guys. I just did not like it, right? So then, it's a whole mystery. No one knows who did it. It's definitely like a who did it type situation. Da 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 da. So then, lo and behold, they arrest Sophie. So basically, what had happened was, in the end, we find out Margo, like I said, Margo killed Abby. Rest in peace, Abby. I feel so bad for her. And Margo got her dumbass brother to get rid of the gun, sell the, or no, get rid of it. I don't know, get rid of it. The dumbass brother sells it to this other dumbass. The dumbass that he sold it to robbed something. So of course police got it. They ran the ballistics in the system and it matched to Sophie. You know what I'm saying? That's how they got it all traced back to Sophie. That's why they arrested her. They're like, oh bitch, your gun was used to kill Abby. So yeah, you're definitely a suspect. Like the police were not wrong to arrest Sophie. Like, bitch, yeah, it was your gun. So yeah, like that's pretty shitty. Later in the series, they get Sophie again. Because apparently in the woods there was some trail, there was some camera footage that picked up, and Sophie's dumbass, because she was drunk and high that night when they wanted to have a little slumber party at Margo's bitch. Apparently, so there's footage. We see footage of Sophie in the woods talking to Abby. And it seemed like she was telling Abby to go, like, get out of here, get away from here, da da da. So it's like, okay, when that happened, was Margo also out there, or was Margo inside? And then when Sophie came back inside, is that when Margo grabbed the gun to go? It's just so many questions left. So many questions left. So many things that were kind of confusing, that weren't all the way clear to the audience. My ring light, my freaking ring light. Oh my gosh, you guys. 1 second. 1 second. All right, y'all. I'm back. I had a little technical difficulty. I don't even remember what the hell I was talking about. That's how discombobulated I am. But I think I was talking about Sophie and her talking to Abby in the woods, and just stupidity, y'all. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Now, when I posted an initial like video on TikTok, and someone asked me a really good question in the comments. They were like, "Hey, do you think that Margo like loved Sophie?" And I told them, I do not think she loved Sophie. I do think that Margo cared about Sophie and actually really liked Sophie. I really do think Margo liked Sophie. I think that she found something very likable about Sophie. I think she even may have cared about Sophie. However, definitely not loved her, because if she really loved her, she would have not have ditched her the way she ditched her. I understand distancing yourself a little bit. You have to think like from a political, high affluent celebrity standpoint, right? Like her husband is running for a campaign. At that point, Sophie was arrested. Even though Margo knew that Sophie was innocent, she's not about to turn herself in. So it's like, well, bitch, it don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Like the gun was bad enough, but bitch, damn, your footage was caught up. You was in the woods talking to the bitch Abby. Like it just didn't look good for Sophie. So I mean, I get Margo like, oh, I can't really be seen with you, but I did not agree with Margo just completely abandoning Sophie, like not texting her back, not calling her back, blocking her on social media. I thought that was like pretty OD, especially since she knew that Sophie was innocent. I just thought that was crazy. Like, and then All it took was one little thing. Margot saw those photos of somebody blackmailing her, and she ran to Sophie's motel and licked her cootie cat and told her a couple I'm sorries, and then Sophie's weak ass just took the girl back. Sophie is one weak bitch. Okay. So yeah, no, my point is I don't think Margot loves Sophie. I think she cared about Sophie, but I don't think she loved the girl. I don't think Margot loves anybody but herself. To be honest. And I will say I was happy throughout the series when I found out that like actually Margot did not set up Sophie, because at first, you guys, it was looking like Margot did set her up, but she really didn't set her up. It was just a series of unfortunate events that really made Sophie look guilty. So I did find a little comfort in that. That did make me feel like, okay, Margot, you do kind of have a piece of a heart. I don't even know if I could say that because you killed a 17-year-old girl. So um I don't even want to talk about the weird church leader. That was so another pedophile, another predator, and then you're in the church being a predator. That's real life, though. Hey, that's real life. Let's talk about Jill. I haven't shown Jill any love. Hold on, y'all, because Jill is my girl. Um, aka Quinn from Scandal. I mean, I am so proud. Let me pull it up. I am just so proud. So proud. And shout out to Kerry Washington. Shout out to the cast of Scandal. They, for the most part, seem to still have a really good relationship with each other all these years later. Kerry Washington did promote The Hunting Wives and gave a shout out to the actress that plays Jill and the actress that played Quinn on Scandal. I forget her name. Oh, I think her name is May Cobb. Okay, it's an interesting name. But yes, aka Quinn. She's always gonna be Quinn. I don't care what other role she lands. She's always gonna be Quinn, and she's always gonna be a gladiator. And I love that for her. As an actress, I do think like when you're an actress and you land a role on a show that just everyone loves and adores you, like I just think that's one of the biggest blessings you can have as an actor, because it's like, again, no matter what you do, you're going to have a percentage of people who are going to continue to support you just because they really enjoyed you on Scandal or whatever, or The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones or whatever, those big mega shows that like really captivated audiences. So I'm really happy for May Cobb, aka Quinn. But Jill, let me get to you. Jill wasn't as bad as some of the other ladies. I actually had more sympathy for Jill than some of the other ladies because I feel like I understood Jill more. Like Jill's issues, I could easily, they were a little bit more digestible. You can tell Jill, I can't talk about her childhood, but I can definitely talk about her adulthood. She is married to a pastor, which comes with a lot of scrutiny, a lot of eyes are on you. You're constantly being watched. You constantly have to be perfect. Then we saw that the husband is kind of an asshole. He's a jerk. So really she's devoting her life to just really being a great mom to Brad and, being a woman, a pillar in the community and um, things like that, she's just kind of like that person, very southern, very old school, like we're going to keep up appearances and never let them see you sweat. And I did not like the way she treated Abby, but we see that Jill had some type of weird obsession with her child. It's not in a way of like, I think she would ever do something harmful or predatory to her child, Brad, but it was very like, I'm jealous. Like she was in love with with her son, sorry. And then that weird scene, that flashback scene when she was giving birth to Brad and she was learning how to breastfeed and have him latch on, and she felt aroused when when she was breastfeeding. I was just like, do we have to see this? Like, was that supposed to signify her weird obsession for her son? Like, it was very weird. I feel like we didn't have to do that. Like, I feel like there's enough moms in the world who compete with their son's girlfriends without there having to be a weird sexual arousal. I just I feel like that wasn't necessary. It was just very weird. It was just very weird. It wasn't necessary. Jill was very much so an asshole to Abby and Abby's mom. Shout out to Abby's mom. Her mom is played by Chrissy Metz. We know her from This Is Us. Yeah, I felt bad for her too. I felt really bad for her. She lost her child in a very vicious way. Her child was viciously murdered. And I mean, she's really, she's a single I could cry thinking about it. I felt really bad. I didn't like how the other ladies treated her. They were very mean to her. I'm like, y'all act like she's like living in a trailer park. Like this woman has enough money to live in this town, be in this area, go to the same school. Her children go to Abby goes to the same school. She's like, why are y'all treating her like she's like some poor white trash? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, like everybody in this town isn't filthy rich. Like, I just didn't like it. Like that one scene when, Sophie first got to town and like they were at church or something. And then, Sophie's talking to her and like the girls were like, hey, Sophie, come over here. Like it was just so mean. And then let me get on Sophie's dumb ass because she want to be fucking Nancy Drew so fucking bad, bitch. That the part of the show when Sophie was Nancy Drew and she was piecing together the pieces of the puzzle. This bitch Sophie went to the mama and was like, hey, yeah, so by the way, your daughter actually wasn't a virgin. She was actually busting it wide open for Brad. And then this happened. And then I think this happened. And I think she may have had an abortion. And like, bitch, read the room, you ditzy ass bitch. Like this woman is mourning the death of her child. Her 17-year-old child was viciously murdered. And you're telling her that her child wasn't pure, and I say that because I'm just going off of like how they all were heavily religious and like it was a really big deal for them. So you're coming up to this grieving mother who you're telling her child wasn't a virgin. You're telling her that her child was busting it wide open for Brad. Then you're gonna tell her that the bitch got pregnant. I mean, damn, she had an abortion. Like, damn, Sophie, get your dumb ditzy ass away from this grieving mother, you dumb bitch. Like, go sit down somewhere, goofy. I didn't like that, y'all. That rubbed me the wrong way. Where do I want to go? I'm actually pretty much done. Now, questions for season 2. Are we going to see the one-eyed man again who's supposed to be from the Democratic Party? Like, I don't understand. Sophie, again, an idiot, bitch. Why did it take you so many days to reach out to him? Like, at that point, bitch, you had already been locked up. You didn't want more information about Margo. Like, you went to everybody else but him. And then when you finally go to One-Eye Jack, he disappeared. And then another black guy, who I think I've seen him before, I forget what show he was on. Then another black guy pop up and he's from the Democratic Party and he's a spy and he telling you got 24 hours to come back. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And then at the end, this bitch Sophie wanna run over Margo's brother. I'm just like, now it was self-defense. I will give Sophie that. Margo's brother was being stupid. It was self-defense. I will give her that. Okay. So in the event that it's self-defense, when it's no longer self-defense, bitch, when you get out your vehicle and drag a dead person's body and dump it. That's when it stops becoming self-defense and it's just outright murder. So now you're a murderer, bitch. And so season 2 is definitely going to be crazy. Season 2 is definitely going to be a lot of like, Margo and Sophie are going to be butting heads. It's going to be a whole mystery of what happened to the brother. Are police going to be involved? I don't know. What is Jed going to do? Is Jed completely going to divorce Margo? What's going to happen? Is she going to have to go back to living in a trailer park? Like, what's going on? We don't know what's going to be the state of their marriage because at this point, I understand if Graham want to divorce her ass, I wouldn't be mad at him. this bitch and her husband gonna be on a reality show. Man, it's so much stuff. I will say this though, I was pissed off. I really wanted Jill to find out that Margo was screwing her son. Like, I really thought we were gonna find that out in the show, and I mean in the series. Like, I thought Jill was gonna find out, and it didn't happen. I do feel some type of way about Jill dying. That kind of sucks. So rest in peace to Jill. I do feel bad for Brad, because he was very much so distraught over Abby's death. And then of course, then losing his mom. That was really like his whole world turned upside down. So right now, it looks like Jill killed Abby. So I really do feel bad for Brad, because he's mentally just like WTF. You know what I mean? So I do feel bad about that. I guess season 2 are we gonna get One-Eyed Jack back, or is it just gonna be the black guy? You know, what's gonna happen, because he told Sophie 24 hours, but Sophie was too busy dumping a dead body. Like, it's just I, I feel like this show, we did not need a season 2, but I don't think it's gonna hurt that we get a season 2. I think season 1 was so good. I would really hope that season 2 would be just as good, if not better. I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all were expecting me to go in order. It wasn't. It was all over the place. I'm probably gonna put like a spoiler alert in the beginning of the video when I edit. I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary. I hope you guys were entertained. I hope you guys laughed. I hope you guys agreed with some of my talking points and my viewpoints on these crazy characters. The Hunting Wives, aka the Hunching Wives. You guys, this was a show I did not going into it. I really did not know what to expect. But I yo, this is actually really funny. I didn't know what to expect going into it. And I have to say, I really enjoyed it. And I don't know, it's something about how we can all come together and find enjoyment in watching a TV show. Like, I love it. And shout out to the actresses. They really killed it. Like, really, really, really killed it. And I follow and have watched most of these women throughout the years. So it's really, really dope. Acting is just such an amazing thing. Like, you really can transform into a totally different person. And I just think they all did amazing, especially the actress that plays Margo. I have seen her throughout the years, and she's never played a role like this. So this was pretty dope. I will say, honey, Margo, baby, you got some kryptonite in your coochie. And let's see if Margo's coochie is going to bail her out of trouble in season 2. I don't know. We shall see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like the vibe and you're new to my channel. Also, please like this video. Again, it helps me put me in the algorithm. It helps with more viewership. It helps me receive more watch hours. Again, please like the video. Please subscribe and comment. Let me know your thoughts on the series. Let me know your thoughts on my commentary. You agree, disagree, the whole nine. Thank you guys so, so much. And until next time, bye-bye.